Hi, my name is Jeff, and I'm going to show you how to use the e-cart filling station. If you're like me, this is the way you used to fill up your carts. You used an old carrying case, and of course over time the case wears out, the carts get to where they won't stay upright. The case itself collects juice and dirt. Then you had to have everything set out. And again, if you're like me, you've knocked over the bottles, or you've taken the caps and knocked them onto the floor, and it was basically a real hassle. I can show you an easier and better way to fill your carts. This is the e-cart filling station that I use. As you can see, it has space for 5 different juices. It holds 15 carts and has trays for your miscellaneous items. It keeps everything neat and organized and makes filling your carts a whole lot easier. I'll show you how I do my carts. Don't have to use my method, but it's one that I find works, and when I get done I end up with perfectly filled carts. The first thing I like to do with the carts is I open up the bottom end and I take one of the plugs that came with the carts. Still don't know what the proper name of them is, but I'll put it in there because when I fill my carts, that prevents any of the juice from getting on the outside of the carts. So I'll put a plug in each one of them, and I turn them over. Pull the top off, just like you've always done. And I'm going to do that with each of the carts. I'm going to check. If it doesn't have a plug in the bottom of it, I save all my plugs. I'm going to go ahead and put a plug in the bottom of it. And I'm going to take the top off. Like I said, I'm going to do that with each of my carts. Okay, now I have all of my carts prepared, and I'm ready to start filling them. I use the standard method of filling a cart by tipping it and adding 6 drops at a time, letting it run down the side. And this time I am using 3 of my favorite flavors. This is black licorice that I'm using right now. This is pina colada, and this is peach cobbler. I get my supplies from a company that's called Vapor for Life. If you have not tried them, I will put their web address up at the end, because I believe they have not only superior products, but I know they have the best web support that you can find anywhere. These are fantastic people. Okay, like I said, I use the standard method of filling my carts. I have a few little tricks. And when I fill my carts, after I get them filled, I allow them to set for 10 minutes before I put the next set of drops in. I know that that's not required. It's just my way of doing it. Okay, now I've finished filling my carts using the standard method, putting in 6 drops at a time. And like I said, I like to give my carts time to absorb the juice between each set, so I generally give them about 10 minutes. And I continue to do that until I actually overfill my carts. If you can look in here, you can see that my cart looks wet. like it's been overfilled. And I'll continue adding drops until they get that way. And then I like to let them set for 15 or 20 minutes. When I get done with that, I'm going to show you how to turn that into the perfect cart. Now, I know you've been taught to blow all the excess out, but I don't like doing that, and there is a better way. What I do is I like to take standard old Q-tips. I don't know if you can see those very well, but those are just regular old everyday Q-tips. Let me move this back a little. And I don't like to blow them out, so I take the Q-tip and I just set it in there and I let it absorb all of the extra. And the Q-tip will absorb anything extra that you put in there. And then when it does that, then I take and I hold it upside down for a second. And what I end up with is a perfectly filled cart. Put a cap back on it. And set him back in there. And I do that with each of my carts. I just set the Q-tip in there. Let him absorb anything extra. Turn him upside down. Get any extra out of there. As you can see, he becomes a perfectly filled cart there. Go ahead and put a cap back on him. As you can see, everything stays very nice, neat, and well organized as you work. Nice thing about Q-tips is they have two ends, so when one end starts to get full, you just flip it over and use the other end. And again, I just tip him upside down so I end up with a nice cart that's ready to use. And I'm going to do that with all of my carts. And that way when I'm done, I have perfectly filled carts. Okay, as you can see, I have all of my carts filled up. Everything has stayed nice, neat, cleaned, and organized. When I get done, I just cap my bottles. If I'm going to be at home, I can leave my carts in the e-cart filling station where they're easy to get to. If I'm going on the road, I simply take them out, put them in a box, carry them with me, and clean up as they snap, simply because all I have to do at this point is take my napkin and my Q-tips, roll it up, throw it away, and I am done.